Forgiveness is one of the most powerful things a person can do for themselves. It's a gift that you give to yourself, not to the person who's wronged you. When you forgive, it's not excusing a person's actions, it's about helping yourself create a path forward. I want to share with all of you a little story of mine and just simply ask, is there someone in your life that has ever done something so irredeemable or made you hate them so much that you wish nothing but, pain for them or anything like that? Because there was someone just like that for me. We'll call this person Faye, and I've known Faye for almost about 5 years, and for over 2 years now, she's done a lot of hurtful things to me, and I wish nothing but hell and karma upon her. For those that know me personally outside of all of this content, I just want you to try to understand the situation in my shoes, because you guys will probably say, no, just let go or get over it. But you probably wouldn't really understand the situation that well. It's like a victim in a domestic relationship. Like, you can just tell the victim to just go report to the police, but you don't know what their abuser could do to them. I don't want to try to mention too much about any like domestic abuse or anything, so I'll just move on to the story. So Faye put me in a difficult situation between me, her, and our friend group. I'm not going to share any specific context because it is still a personal story between me and my old friends and Faye. So I'll just say that we had different goals and opinions that made me become the odd one out. She was the one who initiated the entire problem to me and my friend group, and ever since then, it affected me a lot. My friends, they all turned their backs on me, and I've known them for over 4 years at that time. And turning their backs on me, it just felt like all this friendship was built for nothing. Like, I felt like I wasted my time because they didn't even want to talk to me at all. And I hated them as much as I hated Faye for it. Some of them only wanted to talk to me after the situation died down, and I refused to talk to them. Like, I chose to ignore a lot of them. I didn't want to go near them whenever I saw them at school. Um, it was very rough for me for about a whole year, and then after that year, everything started to I started to digress more. I started to improve myself way more than how I was at the time. When they did want to talk to me, though, I did find it very insulting, and so I blocked all of them online everywhere I could. But Faye was kind of the bigger issue for me because she was the one that I wanted to see suffer mentally and physically, but like I didn't want to be the one to do it. So I was waiting for karma to do it for me. Eventually karma did, as of recent. So about like nearly a month ago, I heard about some news that she and her family went through, and for me, I always was waiting for this day to come just for me to have a smile on my face and start laughing about it. But for some reason, I didn't feel happy or like all joyful. I felt remorse and empathy for her. I always thought that ever since she went through her karma, I always thought that things would finally be different, but I was wrong. Everything still felt the same. I still did my same routines at school, work, the house, and you know, the only thing that I could say felt different was just how my emotions were going through, what my emotions were going through. For some reason, I started to think about her a lot. I started to think about her a lot that even in my dreams, I started to actually think of her. Like, I could vividly remember her being there. She didn't do anything though. She was just standing there looking at me. She didn't have like a certain emotion. She didn't have like a happy face or a angry face. Her face was just very like bland. Like, she just stared. did nothing at all. It probably sounds familiar to Dream Scenario for some of you guys who've seen it. I don't want to go too off topic, so I'll just leave it there. For some reason, I just thought it was weird at first, but then the more I started to take naps and go to sleep, I started to see her every single time, and I didn't know why she was there. I didn't want her to be there, but she was. Some part of me thought that, like I didn't really know how to solve the situation, so through my feelings of like what I thought about her, I started to ask myself, maybe, because of the way I'm feeling towards her now, maybe I should like try to comfort or forgive. I didn't really know if that was the right answer, so I started to talk to my friends, my current friends, about the situation. I thought to myself that maybe I should forgive her, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. One of my friends responded to me saying that there's a difference between forgiving and forgetting. You can forgive someone for their actions, but you can never forget what they did. My friend believed that no matter what, I should forgive, even if it doesn't feel right, because it'll help you release all whatever emotions you're feeling, whether it's anger, depression, or just anxiety. It'll be a big release. So the best thing to do, he said, is just to forgive them, no matter what. I decided to take his advice, so I decided to write a little rough draft to think of what I would want to say to her if she ever did see it. But I decided to look at just any account that I didn't block her from. I know it sounds stalker, but I only did it just to send her an apology. Well, not apology, but a message that tells me that I forgive her for what she put me through. I ended the message by saying that I just hope that she became a better person and saying goodbye to her. And then I just blocked that account. Whether she saw it or not, it doesn't really matter for me because I finally got it off my chest. And after that, I no longer saw her in my dreams. To be honest with myself, I also think it was one of the best things that I've done for myself in a very long time. Like a year after my situation with them, I always thought that I let go of it, but I realized that, I would make bad jokes and insult her whenever we would see something or hear something that would relate to something that she would do or looks like her. Now, when I think of her, I don't really think much, but if she is ever brought up, I don't really say much. I just say, okay, and then I just move on. I want to share one more story though. This was with my old best friend. He was one of the friends that turned their back on me, and we'll call him Tony. So during the beginning of my entire like little fuss with them, Tony turned his back on me. He didn't even want to talk to me. I wanted to try to call him to just tell him my side, but he seemed like he didn't want to acknowledge it at all. And then the day after we graduated from high school, we he decided to text me a year after and say that, I understand that you don't want to talk to me, but like if you ever do, can we just at least try to end off on better terms at least? I originally was going to say no, but I'm becoming an adult, so I said we're adults, like I'll be mature about it and just come see you then. I go meet up with him and he tells me how sorry he was for not wanting to talk to me or like hear me out at all. And he said that he wanted to talk to me for a long time because he actually thought about me a lot. He told me how much regret he had for not speaking up. And while he was telling me all this, I told him that I wrote an angry 4-page essay on him, and every single one of them, they all individually had like 4 pages of an angry essay. At the end of my conversation with Tony, though, we started to just tell our sides and see how we were doing. And at the end, he and I actually made up. We ended off on better terms. I wouldn't say we're on good terms, but just better. Like, we're not on bad, we're not on good, we're just neutral. We're not friends. We're just we just ended things a lot better for each other, and after that, I felt like I didn't really need to, you know, think of anything negative towards him. I started to look back because if I was able to forgive Tony, then I should have been able to forgive Faye. Yes, they had different reasons for why I hated them and was angry with them, but I shared the same anger, the same amount of anger for the both of them. To summarize it all, Faye's no longer in my life, so I shouldn't care what she does now. If I think of Tony, I just reminisce about the old times that we had. But anything current, I don't care what he does. I don't care if he's doing bad, whether he's doing good. We ended off on better terms. So, like, that's all that I cared for. My friendship with Tony came to a conclusion. So, I'd say that it was not the ending I wanted, but it wasn't a bad ending. Now, I wanted to share my experience with you guys because I believe it's best to forgive someone. To the people that have someone in their life that they hate for anything they've done, just forgive them. It's not the easiest thing that you can do, but it'll take time. If I had anything else to say, I would just say to embrace the future and stop holding on to any resentment you have. Otherwise, you'll just be stuck in the past. Keep thinking about what happened, or you might have a lot of ifs, you know? You deserve peace, so find some peace in yourself and find it in your heart to forgive them. Now, I don't really know how to end this video, but this is all I really had to say, and I just hope you all are doing well and just take some advice coming from a guy who used to be very angry with people. Just forgive. It'll take time, all right? Do well. I'm out. Goodbye.